And out they come here at Veterans Stadium, Long Beach, California, for the 21st State of Origin Rugby League encounter. But more important, the very first ever played here in the United States on this fateful evening. There's the New South Wales team out first. And out come the Queensland team, led by the skipper, Wally Lewis. Had a bit of a limp at training, Wally, but Wally always seems to have a limp, except when it comes to a chance of scoring a try or pulling down someone who's about to score one, then he sprouts another leg. That's it, the Tooheys Interstate Challenge, coming to you tonight from Veterans Stadium, Long Beach, Southern California. The Americans have taken their game to London this week. The Rams are over there in London, playing the Broncos at Wembley Stadium coming up this weekend. And here in Southern California, the Australians have hit town. And Darryl Eastlake, I think they've hit town to a pretty fair reception, mate.
Certainly have, Michael. It's been quite a week over here. Every Australian living in Los Angeles or Southern California have been certainly getting about. There's the big kangaroo. And boy, didn't that get a reception when that came onto the ground. Peter Sterling, the man that plays 100% every time he runs out onto the pitch. And he'll have a big game tonight. Be assured of that. Okay, everything now in readiness. The Americans standing by as Vorton drives the ball off for Queensland. Taken by Peter Sterling. Comes back 12 metres over and runs into the red jumpers. And this defence is on already. We'll talk about the boundaries a little later on. Oh, and a big hit on Tunks, but he unloads it. He gets a little handball away. He stood up there, though, and there's a little bit on. It's on now in Southern California. Good old Aussie Biffo. And the Americans love it. Well, what do we say about this defence? It's revved up, both sides. Want to win this one. Wally Lewis settling the players down. Peter Sterling over there listening to what is being said to Royce Simmons. We'll see which way it goes. And it goes to Queensland. They get the first points. Let's have a look at the replay. Peter Tunks came in here now. There's the defence came in. Bobby Linders held him up. Got a little handoff. He got a ball away to Simmons. Simmons was wrapped up with Canescu, and that was the one that did the damage. He didn't like Vorton coming in that way. So, Queensland with a chance to put first points on the board. Well, our American viewers here, there's 25 million of them, Jack, would probably get a little chuckle out of the fact we bring on a sand bin to put the sand down. They have little tea.
Well, we're not allowed to use kicking tea in our game. It's got to be use little sand that's on the sideline. It's probably an antiquated rule, but still in force.
While you're watching this from Southern California, from Long Beach in California, 25 million Americans are watching around their country through the ESPN cable network, and we thank them for taking our game to America. Dale Shearer now. Line in front. 4 or 5 paces back. And there it is. This will be the first points ever scored. Yes, he's got it. So Queensland hit the front 2-0. That's the first time points have been scored in America by a rugby league player. Historic moment there.
Now, blindside is Sterling, linking up with Docking. Docking very keen to get involved. We said before the game that Docking is in as a caretaker, but he'd certainly like to make his position in the New South Wales side a permanent one, out to show that he's certainly not a caretaker player. Simmons dummy half. Now it's to Sterling, the run around with Simmons. Simmons thought he saw a gap, very nearly made it to the quarter line. Davidson now a dummy half. Peter Tunks. Slipping a pass away to Cleo. Cleo still going strongly. Cleo, can he get support? Just brought down, only about 3 metres short of the Queensland line. New South Wales right on the attack. Simmons gets a blindside of Sterling. Interception again from Shearer, but again, he's put it down. And referee Stone playing the knock-on. Close thing there for the New South Wales side, Jack.
Well, he had a chance of picking up 2 there on interception plays, and he would have went all the way.
Yes, the second one in as many minutes. Now New South Wales ball again to Lyons. It's showing it to Docking. A long pass is picked up nicely there by Eddinghausen. But he's caught just inside the Queensland quarter. New South Wales right on the attack. Lyons has it. Run around move as McCaw ducks under a high tackle. Caught now 20 metres out. It's across to Sterling, to Davidson. Davidson had a runner in lines but couldn't offload. Simmons dummy half. Switch of play to Sterling. Then to Langmack, another cutout pass from McGaw back to O'Connor. Kenyon hands for Eddinghausen. Close to the line, he's there. Great try from New South Wales. Andrew Eddinghausen it was, in the corner, in the shadows. But New South Wales threatening to do something like that for the last 3 or 4 minutes. Throwing the ball about boldly. Clever switch of play. Sterling called it on the blind side. Langmack was involved. So was McCaw and O'Connor. And finally the pass going to Eddinghausen. Saw the corner. Dived for a very good New South Wales try, Jack Gibson.
Well, it's a pretty smart move there. They got 2 or 3 handlings. Finally McGaw picks it up. He's waiting for Ed to come through. He arrives in. Their fullback Belcher seems to be a little out of position on that.
So the first try in a rugby league match in the United States, the kick was unsuccessful. The score, New South Wales 4, lead Queensland 2. It's across for Lewis. Now it's to Belcher. Belcher on the halfway mark. Hand passing to Wally Lewis, Queensland captain, getting a pass back inside, which has gone to ground. And play has been halted by referee Stone for the knock-on. 4 points to 2. And this game has been non-stop. 1 try scored, that by Andrew Eddinghausen for New South Wales. Here's Docking running into the big men, bounces off them, comes back at them again. You coach this fellow, Jack. He must be really tough.
Well, he's small but tough.
Here's O'Connor making a bust for New South Wales. The kick through, the chase is on. The ball is there, but Queensland have it. No, it's a try. It's a try to New South Wales. Mark McGaw was there to jump on it. Well, that was a kick through from O'Connor. Queensland looked as if they had the ball covered, but they lost it over the line. A Queensland player back near halfway, flat on his back, but we'll watch this try. Here it is. Watch it with us. O'Connor stepping beautifully. He's got beautiful feet, O'Connor. The kick through. The chase was on. Jackson, number 3 for Queensland, looked to have it covered. There he's got it now. Now he's lost it. And there was McGaw to touch down for New South Wales.
Well, he certainly put in something here. He cut back in. He's got the kick in. Well, there's a bit of confusion there in the goal line, whether he got his hand or with McGaw or not, but it looked fair enough on television.
There is the kick, and that's fair enough too. Right between the posts, New South Wales go further in front. They lead 10 points to 2. Wally Lewis injured.
Well, Ian Maurice, this game has had plenty of pace in it so far. I mean, when you think the series has been decided, defence is still pretty committed.
It certainly is. Some tremendously hard hits out there. And we've already had Wally Lewis injured off to the head bin, but Queensland have made another change with Ian French on to replace Brian Niebling, who you saw was injured before. So it's French on for Niebling, and there's Dowling putting an enormous hit on Jonathan Docking. That's a real David and Goliath performance, that one. Docking straight into Dowling, lost the ball in the tackle, scrum down for that knock-on. 10 points to 2, the score. New South Wales lead Queensland. And here's Lindner, breaking from the scrum, getting a pass on to French. French playing it only about 15 metres out from the New South Wales line. Queensland really need to score now before the half-time break. Here's Canescu, caught by Boyle, 10 metres out. Great opportunity now for Queensland. If they spin it wide, there could be something on. There's Shearer in there to make an extra man. On it goes to Belcher. Belcher out there to Curry. Curry looking for the line, and no try. Well, so close. The Queensland fans that might be here at Boone. And Curry was out there. Belcher came into the back line. Shearer came in from the other wing to make the extra man. Curry has it now, reached for the line, held up and just pushed out. So a scrum will go down if they have time, as the seconds ticking away towards the half-time break. And the referee not happy with it. Siren will sound any moment. Queensland ball. There's the hooters, not a siren. It's a hooter. And referee Stone signals half-time as this good crowd here at Veterans Stadium give the teams a rousing reception as they leave the field after 40 minutes of non-stop action here at Long Beach. Up the Cockroaches, high Penrith. And there is the half-time score. New South Wales 10, lead Queensland 2.
Top tacklers, New South Wales, McGaw, Gilmeister 13 for Queensland. So some big defence has gone on in the game underway again now. Queensland bringing it back through Shearer. Play it back to Canescu. On to Gilmeister. And they're on the 22. Canescu. On to Dowling. Oh, some big defence on Dowling. Been kept quiet, the big fella tonight. Good run from Canescu. Gets it back to Dowling now. Dowling tried to unload to Jackson, but couldn't get it away. Jackson dummy half, goes back to Belcher for the kick. And the players starting to get the feel of this ground now as Docking runs back. But taken by Johnston. And Johnston's taken by Queensland inside the in-goal area. So it's good defence from Queensland. Pinning New South Wales down. They'll have to kick from under the posts. Queensland were very, very keen to win this, and you've got to remember that both of these sides have been doing a lot of promotional work around Los Angeles and the Long Beach area. They've been together a fair bit this week, and we thought that might take the edge off the defence, but it certainly hasn't. And I guess Phil Daly's injury would be testimony to that. Jackson. Held up and slammed down Jackson. And a little knock on there from Canescu, so that'll force a scrum midway between the half and the quarter. New South Wales end of the ground. Sterling. No, he said we'll have it again. New South Wales to feed. Another New South Wales ball goes straight out to Lyons. He can't handle it. Docking's got to go back and fall on it. Referee Mick Stone says that'll do me. Play the ball. Knock back. Driving it down deep. There's no one home for Queensland. Curry running back. He'll take the ball on the 22. And Andrew Ettinghausen takes him with the assistance of Cliffy Lyons. Langer, dummy half. Comes out for Belcher. Belcher, can he unload it? No, spinning around, but the Queensland players a little bunch then. On to Vorton, he'll straighten it up. Head down, trying to unload too, and he does. Little slip pass there, but the ball's gone down. And no ground gained in that one. A little injury there to Jackson as he gets up. Well, Queensland have to do something very quickly, Jack. Maybe a change in tactics to get back into the game.
Well, they've got to run the football. They've got to get it. They've got to get it over the try line. They're 10 behind, and the clock's ticking away. But I can't tell you too much about the game. The only thing I can say, we're about half an hour away from Disneyland.
A few players have been thinking about Disneyland too, with a few stars floating around the head. Some big hits as Docking, who's played very well tonight, wearing the headgear as he does in club games back in Sydney for the Cronulla side, as Tunks takes it up. He's tackled midway between the quarter and the half. Under Sterling. Cut out pass, gets it on to Langmack, comes out now to O'Connor. A bit of room to move O'Connor. Ettinghausen puts it into gear now. He's got O'Connor backing him up. The kick and chase, it's on. Lewis is there. It's gone loose. Try! O'Connor over for New South Wales after a very, very good break from Andrew Ettinghausen. Oh, nice play, New South Wales, and Ettinghausen hasn't enjoyed that one much. O'Connor, all the skills, this man. Backing up. The kick was in from Ettinghausen. See it again. Out it comes to O'Connor now. Look at the way he balances himself when he runs. He gets it onto Ettinghausen. He put it into overdrive. E.T. You can see the defence coming across. A lovely little chip kick went in. O'Connor there. Lewis dived. O'Connor too quick. Lewis misses the ball. O'Connor scores.
Certainly a great shot down here, Andy, just at the necessary pace. He got free there, that winger. Chip kick in. And O'Connor was ambitious enough to follow the football.
Watch out, Queensland.
The man who scored that try now, waiting for the conversion. There it is, about 15 metres off centre, and it's there too. So New South Wales racing away to a lead here, Maurice.
Queensland got it all to do now, haven't they? They've behind by 14 points. It's now 16 points to 2. 3 tackles gone for New South Wales. Here's Boyle. Back inside Queensland territory. 16 to 2. New South Wales lead. Noel Cleal from dummy half. Made about 10 metres. Last tackle signal. Penalty New South Wales. And it's against Canescu. Again, not allowing him to play the ball. And he's going to have a long-range kick at goal, Michael O'Connor. Michael O'Connor. Looks good to me. Looks good to the touch judges. And it's another 2 points to New South Wales. 18 points to 2. New South Wales lead Queensland. Queensland in possession. Here's Lewis. The kick is chased by Johnston. He's got support from Docking, but he's run away from Docking. Takes the tackle just short of the quarter line. Grandstand side of the field. 18 to 2 is the score in favour of New South Wales. Now here's Sterling getting it away to Boyle. Boyle on the quarter line before he's put down. Sterling again dummy half. This time Tunks full of running. Linked up with Lyons. Got a pass away to Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen over the halfway mark. The kick infield by Eddinghausen. Chase for the ball. Eddinghausen's still there. Eddinghausen has got it. No, Docking's got it. Touches down. That is a try. Another great try to New South Wales. Great work from Andrew Eddinghausen. Queensland player down, injured, has not moved. But a great try to New South Wales. Eddinghausen running strongly, kicking beautifully, almost gathered it himself. Just bounced over his head, and it was Docking who was able to touch down. Watch it again. It's pretty to watch. This was Tunks running strongly. The pass from Lyons found Eddinghausen. Down the touchline he went. Too much pace for the winger. Infield kick. A chase here for the ball between Belcher and Eddinghausen, just bouncing over Eddinghausen's shoulder. Jackson got a hand to it. It was still free, but then Jonathan Docking, backing up his Cronulla teammate, was there to touch down. Now, about 3 metres in from touch. O'Connor, wide from his boot. Never given a chance. Score remains 22 points to 2.
Tunks. Almost through Tunks too, but a good tackle from Canescu right round the bootlaces. On the Docking, out to Lyons. Lyons holds a lovely pass out for McGaw. McGaw stringing down. Can he get it inside the Docking? The little man gets it going. Docking in defence comes round and they get him. Just a couple of metres out, Docking. Oh, what a game from this little man tonight. New South Wales still have the ball alive. It's punched back. Ball fumbling all over the place. And a chance missed there, Jack.
Well, it certainly was. He was a metre out. But they got to him. You congratulate the defence, but there's a couple of New South Wales has come up with a penalty because when the ball went back, the Queensland people coming back onside, well, they're never onside.
Well, Jack, you coach this little Docking. I mean, he's such a special player. By gee, he's got such a turn of pace. There's the fumble we were talking about, but such a turn of pace. And is it his size that he can duck under the defence like that? Well,
his big attraction is, Darryl, that he'll move up on every play. Everything's important to him. But I say this, if Eddinghausen and McGaw and Docking decide to play this well on Sunday, it's got to repeat this, we'll win the football game. Their form has been great.
Comments from Cronulla's coach, Jack Gibson, pretty proud of his 3 lads on this side tonight. They've played well. Well, here's O'Connor. This ground surface is not as even as we know in Australian grounds, and they've been having a little trouble with the kicks tonight, grounding the feet, but that's a better one. So now New South Wales really starting to take it to Queensland now, 24 points to 2.
Get the feeling that there's a couple of players looking for a couple of get squares out there. Just when you think there was no fire left, somebody produces something. Here's Bobby Linder breaking from the scrum. One-handing it to Lewis. Now to Miles. Miles caught on the quarter line.
Well, he shook off Hasler in the first place, but he didn't remove McGaw.
Langer. French has lost it behind him. Scramble for possession. Touched by New South Wales. 6 tackles restart for Queensland. Here comes Jackson. Here comes Jackson. Jackson getting a pass away. And that is a try. Tony Curry. Tony Curry was there. It was Jackson running strongly. And that puts Queensland on the board. As far as try scoring is concerned, historic try. First Queensland try scored in the USA. Here's Jackson, held it up nicely, got it away to Curry, who just got it down before Docking could push him over the touching goal line.
Well, they hung off him here a little. He just gets that ball away to the winger. Well, he only had to travel a metre long ways and a metre down.
24-6 now with that good try to Tony Curry. Now Shearer attempting the conversion. He's about 4 metres in from touch, just outside the corner line. The side of the boot, no chance. Just over 11 minutes of play left in this historic rugby league match.
Differential scrum, of course. Langer now gets it out to Lewis. Lewis onto Jackson. Jackson stepping, but they wrap him up pretty quickly. Langmack and also Hasler. Little elbow flying around there. Colin Scott will play it for Queensland. And there's a bit of feeling in every tackle now. Miles has tried hard, but New South Wales have marked him very, very well. Canescu onto Langer, the little man. Jinks turns it back inside to Gilmister. He flicks one out the back door. Lewis grabs it on the French. Turns it back inside to Miles. Yes, and a try! Queensland hit back in the dying moments of this game. Gene Miles, he's tried his heart out tonight and he went over. And they just kept it alive then, Queensland. And that's fair reward for Lewis. He's been trying hard all night. See it again. Here's the little man. He just had that jinking run. He got it to Gilmister. Great pass from Gilmister. It slipped outside the door. Lewis got it on. Went on to French. French turned it back inside to Miles. And Miles, bang. Thank you. Another 4 points, Queensland.
Coming up to this try, they've had a tremendous amount of possession, Queensland, but he's been very generous, the referee, in the defence, so they've had enough momentum to get Miles through there on the run.
Queensland have taken a very quick kick for goal. It was successful. It's now 24 points to 12. So Queensland fight back. Obviously a lost cause to win the game now with only 6 minutes and 38 seconds left, but at least they've salvaged some pride and they'll want to go across that line again. You can bet your life on that. Back they come again now. Colin Scott, weaving run, still inside the 22. Shearer gets to the 22, good bustling run. He's strong, Shearer, Jack. He doesn't look that strong, but he fights his way through tackles.
Well, he's strong, but he's quick. He's the quickest player on the football paddock, I think.
Gilmister, he'll play it. Comes back to Langer. Langer on to Lewis. Lewis swings it back inside to Shearer again. This time he's got a bit of room to move. Comes out to Jackson. Jackson looking for French. He gets it to French. French fighting to get the ball away, but can't. He's right on the halfway line. Langer now gets it out to Jackson. Jackson finding Scott. Scott puts on the pace, flicks one out and intercept. No, Cliffy Lyons! Cliffy Lyons is down at home! Cliffy Lyons will go over. You can bet your life on it. Yes, New South Wales in through an intercept. Oh, Lyons has got plenty of pace, let me tell you. Open them up. Good running from Cliffy Lyons. He's been aggressive tonight. Well, New South Wales really starting to rub the salt into the wound now. Watch this. Here's Colin Scott. Flicks one over the top. Lyons, a little juggle. Had support too from O'Connor, but he said, no, thank you. This one's mine. Over for 4 points, Cliffy Lyons.
there's not much doubt Cliffy Lyons was thinking, hey, maybe I can pick one off here. And when he gave that overarm shot, he was there to take advantage of it. All he had to do, he had nothing in front of him but a fence.
Liam Maurice have had a lot of trouble kicking on this ground tonight because of the surface. Not quite even. Can he do it this time?
Should be able to do this one, Darryl. He's just outside the right-hand upright. And should not have a great deal of trouble with this one.
I think that toy kangaroo would kick this one.
I think you're right. Well, Michael O'Connor's done it. So it's now 30 points to 12. New South Wales lead Queensland. Less than 30 seconds to play. Here's Scott. Caught right on his own quarter line. Langer. Line side to Dowling. The countdown has begun. The crowd counting down with the ground clock. Langer's kick. Picked up by Boyle. Penalty Queensland. So it's not full time yet. The siren has sounded. But the referee has awarded Queensland a penalty. Jackson will take the kick for touch. Ball is still not dead enough to be signalled full time. Here's Langer. Now Lewis, he'll try and put something on. And away goes Lindner. Away goes Lindner, running strongly, looking for support from Shearer. Found it, and Shearer's in for a well-deserved try. After the full-time siren has sounded, Queensland have gone in via Dale Shearer. And as I say, he certainly deserved that try because he's been one of Queensland's best players tonight. Watch it with us again. It was Langer, and then it was Lewis, Miles, and Lindner who beat the defence. As the tackler got to him, he was able to offload it to Shearer, unmarked, and Shearer in for another Queensland try, which will tighten things up on the scoreboard just a little.
New South Wales are thinking about the dressing room more so what was in front of them. They just let them walk that in. As you said, it's a consolation prize, and that's all you could put it down.
That's Shearer's 8th try in State of Origin. He scored a try in all 4 games this year. Been a wonderful series for Dale Shearer. I think there wouldn't be too many who would argue that he's been man of the series, Jack.
Well, he's been the fastest. He's had a terrific... well, he's played great in club football. He's played great here.
And there you go. He's added the extras. So the final score, New South Wales 30 beating Queensland 18 in what has been an historic game of rugby league in the United States.